Innovation at its finest. I just noticed that I can use this tree instead of a tripod because of the way that its bark is positioned, so I can just like set it like yo, what's going on, everybody? So I'm coming to you guys live from Bolivia, but specifically the Jaguar Land Reserve campsite. I'm at the tail end of a wildlife tour that I did through Nick's Adventures Bolivia, where the whole point was to look for jaguars and then whatever else might be in these lands. This land is mostly farmland, but still has a lot of forests and stuff, and the way that it's laid out, there's a lot of potential for wildlife. I decided I wanted to shoot a quick video on things I wish I did differently going into this trip. If you're someone who's trying to start wildlife photography or anything like that, this is the video for you, because I think you can benefit from my mistakes. The first major one is that it's super important to know your gear going into your trip. So this isn't my first like wildlife tour. Well, I guess it is, in the sense that this is my first time photographing mammals and birds, but I have gone on a wildlife tour before where I'm looking for reptiles and amphibians. Are you done? But I have done a tour before where you're looking for reptiles and amphibians, which entails capturing them after you find them, and then you're taking pictures of them on your terms. But with traditional wildlife photography, it's finding them in the wild and trying to capture pictures of them on their terms. So it's totally different. And yeah, I just didn't know my gear as well as I thought I did. For instance, I didn't realize that my telephoto lens was only manual focus with my camera specifically. At least for right now. I don't know if it actually does do autofocus or not, but that wasn't working. So the fact that I couldn't autofocus definitely compromised the composition on a decent amount of my shots. Not complaining, I have plenty of great shots, but in the moment, it kind of screwed me over. So it's super important to know your equipment. The other thing was that my flash isn't working with my camera. The flash by itself works fine, but when my camera is shooting in manual mode, it doesn't let my flash work. So that's cool. And I found that out like 2 nights ago. So yeah, I managed to get around that too for this trip. But yeah, no, it's really important to know your gear. The other thing is that it's super important to know the basics of photography before you go on some like extravagant thing like this. I thought I did. I got a general understanding of the exposure triangle, like ISO, aperture, and shutter speed, and how all that stuff works, but you should be practicing basic photography first. Just go outside, take pictures of stuff, take pictures of people, whatever. You'll thank yourself for it later. I'm literally gonna go home from this trip and I'm gonna start taking way more pictures. I said that about the last trip I went on, but I ended up getting preoccupied with other stuff and other priorities. But now, like, I'm serious about it. This isn't some like fancy, extravagant, oh, you've never heard it before advice. It's boring advice, but it's true. If you know your equipment really well, you're going to be able to dial in the settings exactly the way you need to for the situation and the lighting. Also, understanding lighting is huge. Knowing how to shoot subjects in the shade versus with perfect amount of light, no light, and all that. Just basic composition. The other thing is that when you're shooting wildlife specifically, you really got to be dialed in and focused. I found that while we were driving around, my mind would wander and I would just think about random stuff, because it's kind of boring until you find wildlife, and then you just gotta be ready to go. Like specifically with the jaguars here, they're so damn skittish that if you find one, you got like 5 to 10 seconds to get the shot and react properly to get the shot, and if you don't, you miss it, and that's it. We've had 10 sightings of jaguars over the last 9 days, which is awesome. Of those 10 sightings, there were 3 solid encounters that were great photo opportunities. Because my reaction time wasn't dialed in and I wasn't entirely focused, that cost me 2 of the 3 shots. That was kind of a buzzkill for me, but I'm still grateful for the experience. Seeing jaguars in the wild is amazing, and I can't complain because they're such an elusive cat. I didn't realize how elusive they are and how hard it is to take pictures of them. It's so dope to just be able to see them. Something that I found has helped me with focusing is to meditate. but not like a one and done thing, to consistently meditate over a period of time. Maybe before going on this trip, if I had established the habit to meditate 5 to 10 minutes a day, starting 3 weeks before this trip, that's a good way to improve your focus, and you don't realize it. And it just kind of creeps up on you, and meditating helps you to like rein in your thoughts when you find your mind wandering. Not to like diverge from photography, but that's definitely a good way to help you focus. But yeah, nothing crazy, not like insane and life-changing advice, but something that I kind of learned the hard way, because when I try new things, like I said in another video that I put out, I tend to half-ass it, and unfortunately, I mean, this is kind of no exception, but that's definitely something I have to change in my own life. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, like and subscribe, and wish me luck looking for jaguars.